That saved me an additional almost $700 in interest. It's here in between this May and June payment. Now this is May and June of 2023. I paid off an additional 3.19% of my mortgage. Wow, wow, wow. Hey, I cannot tell you how elated I am to be recording today's video. In fact, I should have recorded it a bit sooner, but we're here now, so let's get started. Okay, so you see where we left off in the last mortgage payoff update with an ending balance of $102,209.42. And if you don't already know, I've made a goal to pay down my mortgage 5% this year, and I landed at 4.77% on the 15th. So I am going to create another worksheet because my next payment was my full-on mortgage payment. So on November 26th, I made my mortgage payment of $767.56. So I'm going to hop over to my amortization schedule and color in that this payment was made, and you'll see why I'm kind of hopping back and forth in just a moment. So over here, the December 1st payment was made. So at this point, you can see that the ending balance would be $102,548. So at that point, I knew exactly what my number was, the number I was hoping to reach to meet that 5%. I'm going to head back over to the tracker. And on that same day, November 26th, I made an extra principal payment of $41.98. Okay, so I'm going to head back over to my amortization schedule and add in that $41.98. And even though this payment was made in November with this particular schedule and with my mortgage company, after I make my full-on mortgage payment, then any additional principal is kind of applied after that payment is made. So that's why it appears in the December line. So, you know, I like to check here my extra payment savings, $690.45. And my actual number of payments down to 344 so far. So let's hit enter. And looky here. Okay, so this went up a few dollars. I'll take it. And then this actual number of payments decreased one more payment because of these extra principal payments. I'm going to copy this $101,963.50 back over to my mortgage payoff ending balance. And there we go, folks. 5%. Even though it's applied in the December line, it was completed before the end of November. And yeah, 5% mortgage down. OMG. Y'all got to know how like overjoyed I am to meet this goal. It was not easy, but stay tuned. I am going to break down how impactful this goal was for me to be able to achieve this goal, and also what impact it made on my interest savings and all that stuff. So first off, back over to the schedule. You can see here that this is my 10th payment. So I refinanced this at the beginning of the year, and that loan balance was $107,330. Because of these additional principal payments that I made, that amount to $3,396.59, that saved me an additional almost $700 in interest. And it reduced my payments by 17 payments, which is over a year's worth of payments, a year and 5 months of payments. That's really great. Now, I did hold on to a copy of this schedule without the extra payments, and I have it listed here. I'm going to compare this to if I hadn't made those extra payments, where would I land? So you can see here this 12/1 payment, the 10th payment. With my just paying my mortgage payment, I would be at a balance of $105,387.96. So I'm going to jot that down. And you can already tell how much of a difference it is. Again, almost $3,400 difference. Now, the average of these principal payments came to about $485.23. And you can see that I didn't even start making these extra payments right at the beginning of the refinance. And they were different amounts. You can see the highest being $738.79 with the most recent and lowest being $41.98. Either way, they made an impact. With my balance being at $101,963.50, I'm going to go back over to my static schedule and we're going to scroll down and see where in this schedule I would have likely hit that 963. So say it's here in between this May and June payment. Now this is May and June of 2023. That extra like year and almost a half saved that I've already met and hit with those extra payments. I would have gotten to this amount in a year and some, but I'm here now. I also want to take a look at, again, these extra payments and how this tracks along that 5-year, 10-year loan example I had placed over here for myself. So again, this is an average payment of $485.23. And if we scroll over here, let's get to, let's see, around here. So a 15-year loan, if I were to take my 30-year loan and pay an extra $291 a month, it would match about a 15-year loan. If I were to take my 30-year loan that I have and make an extra $586, that would make my 30-year loan about a 10-year loan. And you can see I was in between the two, a little bit closer to this 10-year loan. And so even if I landed in the middle at about 12 and a half years, that's still going to save me 17 and a half years in this loan. So that's also something that I'm pretty excited about. And even if you don't count December, because, you know, again, this payment was technically made in November, the average payment over these months came to $559.10. At least that $500 a month made such a huge impact. I'm just so proud of this. One last evaluation before I wrap it up here, and that is to track what percentage I would have naturally landed at just making my mortgage payment as opposed to where I've landed with these extra payments. I'm going to head back over to the tracker. So again, my balance at the beginning of the year was the $107,330. And if I hadn't made these extra payments, but just made my regular mortgage payment, I would have landed at $105,387.96. But my actual current balance is this $101,963.50. So I'm going to calculate the differences between these balances and where I started in the year. I would have knocked out over $1,900 of my mortgage balance just making the mortgage payment, but knocked out $5,366.50 of my balance by making my mortgage payment along with those extra principal payments. And so let's see what percentage that would be. So we already knew that I had hit my 5%, but if I didn't make these extra payments, I would have landed at 1.81%. By making my extra principal payments of about $559 a month, I paid off an additional 3.19% of my mortgage. And I know this is a lot of numbers, but all of this is just so amazing to me. I honestly overshot my goal. I had hoped to double my progress in the year instead of this 1.81% to get at least 3.6 something percent or 3.62%, but I achieved 5%. And even though I planned it, like I put that 5% goal out there to stretch myself, even though I planned it, I'm still astonished. And with technically a month to go, wow. So I am going to probably coast a little bit, at least for this next month. You already saw my video where I talked about putting more into my Roth IRA. I definitely think that that'll be easier now that I've maxed out this goal, but I'm going to revel in this moment. I am going to bask in it, marinate in it, celebrate it. I hope that as you look back over your yearly goals, you are doing the same. What a year it has been. I am super excited. This is just a major goal for me, and I'm telling you, I cannot be more grateful. Thank you so much for joining me on these mortgage payoff updates. I appreciate you. I hope and pray all is going well with you and your goals as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, and I'll see you next time.